Look around and you'll notice a strange paralysis gripping people today. Even when there's no immediate physical danger, we are constantly besieged by fear, overthinking, and a deep, unexplainable loss of vitality. We trick ourselves into believing that if we just analyze every past mistake or calculate every possible future disaster, we can somehow maintain control over our lives. By dedicating our most precious resource, time, to these phantom scenarios, we actively drain our energy into a void, handing our power to an illusion. Left unchecked, this constant drain spirals into severe depression, swallowing your reality and leaving you entirely powerless. There is a way out. It requires a treacherous but necessary climb, navigating directly out of this mental valley of depression and ascending toward a state of supreme, fearless bliss. The hardest part of this climb is accepting the reality of the terrain. The forces breaking us down aren't external worldly pressures. We are being ambushed entirely from within our own minds. To fight back, we have to start with radical anchoring. You cut the fuel to your anxiety by pouring absolute, undivided focus into whatever duty sits directly in front of you right now. Whether that immediate task ultimately succeeds or fails is entirely out of your hands. Your actual power is strictly limited to the disciplined execution of the work itself. And when the mind wanders back into fear, you deploy an active countermeasure. By reciting a divine chant like Radha Radha, you deliberately jam the overthinking department with a rhythmic anchor. This repetition acts as a cognitive shield, blocking fears from infiltrating your focus. Without that shield, an unprotected mind naturally panics. It spirals outward, desperately seeking comfort in cheap distractions and destructive external validations, just to feel a fleeting sense of relief. You also have to fortify the body to handle this mental battle. That means waking up at 4 in the morning, engaging in vigorous physical exercise, and strictly preserving your vital energy through physical restraint and discipline. If you spend your days sleeping until 9, eating poorly, and burning out your nervous system on endless scrolling and vices, your physical vehicle breaks down. You cannot forge a state of mental and spiritual fearlessness inside a weak, lethargic body. But why is it so hard to implement these habits? Why do we actively resist discipline and consistently choose the exact paths that destroy our potential? Because the entity you are taking orders from is compromised. The mind, the voice you blindly obey, is actually an embedded traitor actively working against you. This internal traitor is highly persuasive. It frames intoxication, lust, and toxic modern friendships not as the poisons they are, but as necessary entertainment and relief. The math on these choices is brutal. Chasing base desires destroys your physical health first, degrades your intellect second, and ruins your life. You reach a stark endpoint, a zombie-like existence, entirely subservient to your senses. Instead of seeking out earthly friends who pull you down into these terrible habits, the winning move is to make the divine, like Sri Krishna, your ultimate guide and ally. A person with that alliance is never defeated. You will never secure a true worldly victory until you identify and subdue the traitor in your own head. Conquering the mind is the exact equivalent of conquering the world. Once you stop taking orders from that compromised mind and strip away the illusions, you are forced to confront something profound about who you actually are. You are a fragment of the divine, and because you carry that lineage, you inherently possess an infinite, untapped reservoir of resilience and power. We were given a human body to realize this truth. To cower, weep over minor setbacks, or live strictly by animalistic urges is a direct insult to your own inherent nature. When you finally awaken to this reality, the practical results look almost supernatural. You develop the capacity to endure severe pain, hunger, and immense worldly loss, while maintaining an unbroken, genuinely joyful spirit. When an individual lives with this degree of purity and self-mastery, their conduct becomes a template for everyone they touch. By demonstrating the strength to resist vice and the courage to serve others, a single person can anchor their family and community, eventually providing the moral backbone for an entire nation. By actively rejecting the ambush of your own thoughts and anchoring yourself in disciplined duty, you stop being a victim. You forge an internal fortress so resolute that no external force on